was in meditation last week, I had a bunch of experiences where I was on different motherships and spacecrafts and also on different star systems and planets. Okay, so this is what was shown to me while I was in contact with the Sirians. So while I was doing meditation and doing my chanting, all of a sudden my awareness or my consciousness was brought to a different place. And all I seen was a huge mothership above me. This mothership was massive, and it was multiple levels. This is a mothership, right? I call it, or a huge spacecraft that the Syrians reside on. But they also showed me the life forms that are present on Sirius B. And it was kind of like the whole experience was a mixture of my consciousness being present there, remote viewing, channeling, all kind of put together. So it was my first time experiencing these things, and that's the best way I could kind of describe it. Okay, I have my laptop here, so I'm going to go over all the details of what they wanted me to share with you guys and what I actually experienced myself. So we'll start off with the mothership first, right? So as I mentioned earlier, it was absolutely huge. It was very much round, but also elongated, right? So a little bit longer. And this mothership, they reside on it, so they live on it. And they have mini ships that are also part of the big mothership or spacecraft that are kind of ejected from the bottom of the spacecraft, okay? The mothership moves at a slower light speed, but the mini ships are used for exploration purposes whenever they want to leave the mothership and go explore space. And they're kind of like ejected from the bottom of the spacecraft. The mothership was like a dark black color, and it had like a lot of small mini windows. They looked round to me, and out of those mini windows you could kind of see like dark blue and light blue emanating outside of the spacecraft. Okay, the bottom of the mothership, like I said, it looked like it had like a bunch of circles. So it's kind of like a bunch of circles. I'll try to see if I could find a picture and attach it to this video so you could kind of have an idea of what it looks like. And it also had some lines, but like I mentioned, from the bottom part it would have like different doorways or openings where the mini ships could actually go out of the spacecraft of the mothership and go explore. Okay, there was the round blue light at the bottom of it that was emanating like throughout the doorway when I was lifted inside the spacecraft, if that makes sense. Inside of the spacecraft, they had these really big translucent or transparent looking staircases, and they were really big inside, so you could kind of go up to the upper levels. And I've seen like different rooms there, and they also had a big library, which I'll go into in a little bit. But first I wanted to start off with the different species that were shown to me on this spacecraft and what I've seen. Okay, so the first species was very tall. Their heads and their necks were pretty long, right? And their eyes were really big, dark black eyes, and it was like an almond shape. So I'll also include a picture of that. They were extremely friendly. I just wanted to mention that. Super friendly, respectful, and like very inviting. So I felt very welcomed on the spacecraft. I felt their vibration throughout the entire experience, and they had very loving and soft energy. And I even remember at the end of the experience when I was on Sirius B, out of respect, they took like a little bow when I left. They're I don't know, I'm just so intrigued with their species. Very friendly. In terms of clothing, they had like these long robe looking garments. They kind of look like long like coats, I would say, or robes, and it was a royal blue color. They had like these high shoulder pads, I would say. They were flat at the top, but kind of pointy at the ends of it, pointy and like roundish, I would say. And they had like a gold lining a little bit around the collar and the shoulder pads, and the sleeves of the robes had a little bit of green, but the majority of the robe was blue, like a royal galactic blue, and underneath it looked like they had regular jumpsuits, like galactic jumpsuits. They showed me the other species, and they have so many of them. Not only just on this spacecraft or the mothership, but also on Sirius B and other star systems and galaxies and planets. They're kind of spread out all over, based off what they explained to me. In terms of the other species, they showed me some that looked similar to the first ones. Their skin was like blue, so just the same as the other one, where their necks were like long and their heads were long. But this one, they had really, really big heads. And I remember saying to them, I was like, wow, like you guys have really big heads. And they started laughing because they didn't take it personally, you know, like humans do. And they were like, yes, we do. So their heads were like not only like big up top, but also like elongated at the back part of it, so like this way. So it would kind of extend like in this direction. They also had humanoid Sirians. Okay, so the humanoid ones, they were different colors and they looked so different. Okay, so these were hybridized with humans. So they explained that they actually hybridized with humans. They come from a very dark color, like a dark brown or black color, very similar to like Arabics or Africans, and to a very dark blue color or lighter blue color, from their own species, right? So everything was kind of like mixed up. But the ones that had like darker brown or black skin, they also had a third eye present in the middle of their forehead. So like right here, that would actually open. So not like our third eye that's closed up and not visible. They actually had one that could open. Another species they showed me was a shorter height one. So from what I remember, they had like their forehead was like very wrinkled, so it kind of looked like this. I'm gonna show you guys, right? um so it looked like wrinkled up and like with dents in a way. It kind of reminded me like of cavemen, right? Like pictures of cavemen or drawings of cavemen from back in the day. They had like bigger bellies. Their arms were very long and their legs were pretty short. And like I said, they were Arabic looking, or like it was darker brown or black skin. I would say darker brown skin for this specific species. And they explained they're super intelligent. Like this specific one that I just explained, like they're super intelligent. The Syrians, they're very big on education and learning, right? So like I mentioned earlier, they had a library. They had a bunch of libraries, right? On the mothership, some of the libraries had regular books that were encoded with information. From what I've seen inside the books, it was like symbolisms, kind of like similar to light codes or light language. And they also had digital libraries, like quantum libraries. And what they explain about these quantum libraries is that they're super intelligent and they merge with your frequency, or your energy field, and it allows you to download information or receive information on the spot depending on your frequency level. The Syrians are also very big on, like I said, very big on education. They're considered the teachers. So they love teaching not only their own species but other species as well. And they always looking to gain more knowledge. They learn at super fast speeds, okay, and they're able to share information telepathically with others, including humans. And they actually mentioned that they communicate with humans a lot and send us a lot of downloads of information. Then out of a sudden, my awareness or my consciousness was taken to Sirius B, right? So out of a sudden, like everything kind of like changed and I was in a whole different place. That was so beautiful, and I could only describe it to what it looks like, the movie Avatar. And it reminds me of the Andromedans a lot too, which we'll discuss in a different video because I also had an experience with them, and the Lyrans. but today we're going to focus on the Sirians and Sirius B. So they explained to me that that's their main place, right? So the Sirius B star, their main compound or reservoir, as they called it, even though they're kind of spread out throughout the entire universe. They had a lot of water, so that's what I do remember. A lot of water, a lot of waterfalls, oceans, rivers, all kinds of bodies of water. And I remember seeing what looked like pterodactyl birds, you know, like from back in the day with the dinosaurs and stuff like that. And they were flying all around like their sky, and they were huge. And some of them were like multicolored, some of them were like a bluish color. And they told me that they actually ride these pterodactyl birds, as I described them, right? And they kind of like intertwine frequencies with them. So I don't know if you guys remember the movie Avatar, where you kind of like plug in a way. So their energies would intertwine once they're on top of this bird, and they actually travel throughout Sirius B on these birds. They connect with water a lot, okay? They have a lot of rituals that also include water, and they showed me some of them. They play in water, especially their children, and they don't call their children as humans. They call them seeds of life. So that's the term that they use for their own children. They also have a lot of amphibian humanoid species, okay? And they have a lot of species of animals that live underwater that are similar to like whales and dolphins, and I'll describe them in a little bit, because that was such a wonderful experience. And they emit certain sacred frequencies in Sirius B that have healing properties. So these amphibian humanoid species live underwater. Some of them live underwater, some of them like swim, and they could also stay underwater for a very long time. I would describe the amphibian humanoid species like so some of them, because it's like different types, right? So the ones that I've seen, some of them had like lighter green skin. The top part was humanoid, right? The bottom part was kind of like a mermaid tail or like a fish tail, I would describe it. Their ears were very big, so I would say like this big. Some of them were like super long, like this way, and some of them look kind of like a zigzag or amphibious style. And again, I'll share a picture of what I've seen myself. And these ears actually help them hear from like very, very far distances, and pick up on frequencies like super easily, or any kind of vibration, any kind of light vibrations. Some had like look like spears, kind of like Aquaman in a way, right? And the other species that I seen were like a lighter blue or like a dark blue. So the colors of their skin would vary from like light green to blue to like darker blue. They also have mermaids, like I said, dolphins and whales, or their version of what we would call whales here on Earth. They're constructed differently, right? So for these whales, they were absolutely gigantic. Like they were huge. Like I never seen such a big whale in my life, right? And these whales send ripples, based off what I put down, they send ripples throughout the entire ocean, right? And it's very healing for their species. These animals are protected and they're praised, and they don't hurt them because they understand their ecosystem very well. And they understand that if they hurt the animals or their ecosystem just in general, their nature, they're only hurting themselves because they're part of the same cycle, right? Or the same ecosystem. So they praise them, acknowledge them, and they're super grateful for their presence and their contribution to their life form, okay? The underwater species or whale-like beings are absolutely huge in size and beautiful, like I mentioned. It's like they sing kind of like a melody, right? With the frequency that's being emitted. So it kind of looks like vibrations that are being sent out in the water, and I was able to see them myself. And I felt this immense peace and love being in their presence. And I felt like the healing vibrations as well. And it was amazing. The water beings or whales informed them of any irregularities in that are happening in the ecosystem or in the waters, and how they could actually fix them. So they're always communicating, like their Sirian species are communicating with the animals all the time. The species that were living on Sirius B were very connected to plants, so plant medicine is very big for them, and they study biology, they study the plants, they study the components of the plants and how the plants can actually heal them, restructure and elevate their species. What I also remember is them having mass gatherings, right, of the different species that lived on Sirius B. And they would all connect through unity consciousness and vibration through physical touch. So they were all like holding hands, kind of like what looked like a circle, right? And it was a bunch of them like just like in a circle. And they would chant together, they would sing together, they would kind of like move and sway while they were vibrating that specific frequency between one another. And it says that they also connect with nature a lot during these rituals, and also with the aquatic beings and the animals, because they take part in the same ritual. Describe these rituals as what would be similar to how birds flock together on Earth, right? So you know how they fly together. There's not one of them leading the whole pack. It's unity consciousness, so they all kind of flow with the same frequency and they connect to the same intelligence, and they move together as such. So it's that specific vibration that they can all pick up on and kind of like move with it. And it says that these vibrations help send frequencies of love and healing across the universe and also around, across Sirius B. The reason why they share this information, like I said, is because they want to help ease things, right? And the idea of contact with unknown species, they don't want humans to be shocked whenever they do get contacted by Sirians, or whenever we do have first contact. They want it to be a pleasant, loving reunion, right? And something that humans are going to always remember in a very loving way. They are saying that they will continue contacting humans because they're already doing so, right? Obviously, it's only for those that are open to contact, right? And are open to receiving their knowledge and their guidance. And they want to educate humans about consciousness, universal love and knowledge. And those that are not as ready, right, to have contact with the Sirians, they said that they will attempt to contact them through dream, in the dream state. Those are that feel that are more ready to have contact with them, they will contact them through visions, right? And they will contact them telepathically through visions, because they usually appear in visions mostly of what they described. And they also like to use imagery and visions to educate or to explain certain things. They want to teach others and humanity about peace, unity, love, and unity consciousness, once again, that they're very big on, and loving one another. What they showed me is like the different species that all look physically different, but they don't care about the physical differences. They focus on unity consciousness and how each vibration is unique and different, and it contributes to the whole unit, right, as a whole. They said they appreciate how each species contributes with different knowledge, perspectives, development, and in their unique frequency, and understand that only as a whole you can contribute to consciousness at a higher level. Sirians love exploring space, so there's true space explorers, and they love studying galaxies, stars, and also stardust, right? So they said they're very intrigued with stardust because they are remnants of the universe and carry intelligence or information that can be studied at a quantum level or a microscopic level. Because all matter is intelligent and carries information that can be applied. It's all about analyzing on a deeper level. Sirians are sending so much love and guidance to humanity at this very moment, and they want to guide humans towards the next level and a higher level of intelligence and consciousness, as long as humans are willing to do so. They were showing me how excited they actually are of interacting with humans, because they're teachers. As I mentioned once again, they want to teach and educate and help others, and they were super excited and super loving, and the whole idea of connecting with humanity was something that they actually desire. and they want to share their wisdom and knowledge with anyone that's open to receiving. And they mentioned that if you are interested in connecting with them, all you have to do is set the intention and put it out in the universe, and it will come in divine timing for you as well. They have such a loving and playful energy. Once again, beautiful, beautiful smiles. They would smile a lot, including their children, right? They understand that play is a part of nature and creation, and they embrace it fully, even mixing it with their education so it can make it more fun and interactive. And they actually wanted to apply the same approach to humans as well, so we could have an interactive and fun kind of learning experience with them. Sirians like to be called loving light beings. So if you ever do interact with them, you could approach them as such or as Sirians, whichever one you prefer. They understand that consciousness can be perceived through different perceptions, right? And each perception is connected to unity consciousness, even though it might be different. So they actually have their own personality. So all of them have a unique personality, just like humans do. Their unique vibration emanates towards the cosmos and within it, because all of us are a representative of the cosmos or the universe. And they understand that honoring your own vibration is super important, which is another thing that they want to teach humans. Once again, it's more about being yourself and not being like everybody else, because you were created in this unique way for a reason, and you actually contribute by being yourself to the whole piece, right? To the whole puzzle, as I might call it. It's not about separation. There's a sense of uniqueness in your vibration and frequency that you could share with the world, and embrace yourself, because it is so unique and cosmically designed in a way that's supposed to bring all of us together in a celebratory way. Last thing that they mentioned was that they're currently sending human a lot of love frequencies, especially this month and in the upcoming month. And that's about it. So that was pretty much my experience with the Sirians. I have more to share, so if you're interested in hearing more about my other experience with the Lyrans and so on, please make sure to subscribe. Other than that, I wish you all an amazing day and much, much love and light.